attire here. I'm trying to stay comfortable in the heat, and it's great to be here. I always love coming back here, meet with you folks. You know, I think most of you should remember I was the VSO here in Easton for a number of years, and sorry I got my back to you guys. I'm trying to find a good spot. But yes, so member of Post 7. I'm also a life member of the VFW as well, so it's great to be in this building and come back and visit you folks and give updates whenever I can. Currently work with the Executive Office of Veteran Services with the Commonwealth of Mass. So that means I work for Secretary Santiago, who is our Massachusetts Secretary of Veteran Services. And Secretary Santiago was appointed to this position by Governor Healy in 2023 to basically rebuild and turn around what was then the Department of Veteran Services with the state. I think last time I told a number of you, reminded us, right, that during COVID, unfortunately, there were some tragedies that we experienced across the world and the country and in Massachusetts, but our veterans mostly, right? We in our soldiers' homes in Holyoke and Chelsea lost a number of veterans there, and these things and decisions made and leadership challenges is what led to Governor Healy's decision to bring Secretary Santiago on. Secretary Santiago is a medical doctor. He's an Army doctor, multiple deployments recently to Syria, and again, he's an emergency room physician currently at Boston Medical Center, and then now he's our Secretary of Veteran Services. So, former state representative, kind of has a great idea how things work and how we can get things done and get laws passed to support our veterans and support our service organizations like the Legion, VFW, DAV, nonprofits, and so I just wanted to provide that background. And in this time frame since March 2023, it's been that complete turnaround and rebuild, right? So the two homes, they're now known as veterans homes. They're not just for soldiers, they're for airmen, sailors, Marines, Coast Guardmen, maybe someday Guardians, the Space Force people. So they are both certified by DPH, fully licensed by the Center for Medicaid, which they were not before, unfortunately. The two facilities, I had a slideshow prepared. I'll share with the commander, and I'll share a fact sheet that we can get out to you all. And then I'll get you some things to reference from my talk here. But these two buildings are these beautiful high-rise buildings now, right? You look at them, they look like a high-rise condo. Someone at one briefing I did recently said it looks like a casino. I don't think it looks like a casino, but it's definitely not a casino. It's a long-term care facility. And I'm about to tell you how much this place costs, and I know a couple of you in here, Dave DeVore particularly knows how much these things cost on a regular, and I'm sure a lot more you do too, but I know Dave works a lot. Dave recently retired as a Shine counselor for Easton, and can we get a round of applause for Dave? 19 years. Sorry, I don't mean to embarrass you. But anyway, so the veterans homes in Chelsea and Holyoke, they're open to all Massachusetts veterans, okay? And it's $10 a day to go live in the domiciliary, which it's like a rooming house essentially. You go live there, it's like you're back in the barracks, but much nicer. You share a kitchen, maybe you share a bathroom with a connecting room, but you have your own living space and you can come and go. The assisted living side, $30 a day. Now those prices, that's nothing. I mean, you want to go to some of these nicer places, $30,000 a month, $20,000 a month. Okay, so this is offered to our veterans. There is a wait list, as you can imagine, just like anything, right? It's not a perfect system, but these are brand new state-of-the-art facilities, new staff, new leadership. This is just one of the small things I can share with you that we've done and that I've been a part of since joining EOVS. So and additionally, so the work I do now, it consists of a few main components, right? We've got our constituent services, which is real similar to like the VSO work I was doing, where people would call and, hey, I don't know where to start. What am I eligible for? What should I ask for? How do I do this? And we have a team of people that walk you through what you might be eligible for from the VA at the federal level, the state, nonprofits, your town VSO, all these things. Another leg of our engagement team is the Women Veterans Network. And we recently celebrated our Women Veterans Appreciation Day luncheon held in Worcester, and Dr. Jessica Frost, she's our Women Veterans Director. And it's an important time to be supporting our women veterans, LGBT veterans. There's a lot of folks that are, not loving the current administration, right? And the current DOD administration. You know, we were just at the Pentagon in March, and we were there for a National Association Conference of Veterans state-level secretaries. And we were at the Pentagon, we met with one of the undersecretaries, who no longer works at the Pentagon, unfortunately, since then. But this gentleman explained to us about the discharge policies, right? And there were some pretty charged conversations going on there, and especially about like our trans service members being discharged, right? Regardless of how anyone in the room feels about it, these folks signed the dotted line just like all of us did, right? And I don't want to go too deep into that, or I don't want any commentary, please. But the fact remains, these folks are going to come back to Massachusetts, and we got to provide support. And if they don't have support from the VA, the federal side, we have to get creative. And we have to find where we can help people, and it's a challenge right now. So anyway, I say all that to say the Women Veterans Network, particularly unique challenge right now. A lot of their focus is on military sexual trauma, supporting our female veterans and our male veterans who also face challenges from these things. And then we have our Save and Serve teams, which are our peer support teams. And so the Save team is mental health focus and crisis intervention focus, and the Serve team is for justice-involved veterans. So you end up in one of our lovely courtrooms in Massachusetts, you're a veteran, first-time offender, nonviolent crime, you can get a diversion through the BRAVE Act, which we remember the BRAVE Act from a few years back. There's BRAVE Act, Valor Act. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the HERO Act, but it's one of these laws that allows you to complete this rigorous court-ordered program where you can get your charge expunged and it's gone, right? It's 18 months of a judge holding you accountable, and but it's an amazing thing to see. And a lot of our SERV coordinators who work with these folks, they've been through it themselves. So we got these, reformed, convicted felons that are veterans that work for us now. They run these programs now. I'm learning from these guys and girls every day, and they go to the courtrooms and they turn around and help the next person. It's pretty awesome to see. So that's happening across Massachusetts. And yeah, so that's a little bit about I just wanted to back you guys up on what I've been doing and working with the VSOs across the state. So my former counterparts across all the towns, and we're just making sure that we're armed with the latest and greatest information to help the veterans get what they need. And it's busy. Business is booming. So things are going good, but we can always do more. And we rely on the support of the American Legion, VFW, DAV, all our service organizations to work together. So, and likewise, we want to give that support to you all as well. So please just always remember, you've got a good contact and a friend in me. If there's anything you ever need, I'm always available to either come back and talk. You can call me, I'll leave my number here. And we can get in touch, and anything we can do to help at the state level, we're ready and willing to do. So, and then briefly, I just want to remind you all the HERO Act. So, HERO Act was put into law. It's the first major significant piece of legislation regarding veterans that has been passed by a governor or presented by a governor in 20 plus years. Okay, so a lot of times we'll have these laws that come out, and there's always usually a few good things in there. It's usually not anything ever too bad with veterans legislation. We always want to see it, but this HERO Act really does some amazing things, and I'm going to get you the fact sheet on this so you can see it in front of you. But one of the biggest things is it increases some benefits that make a difference for all of us. Now, first, for our veterans who are 100% service-connected disabled, or surviving spouse of a service-connected death, or Gold Star parent, spouse. I think that's all. You receive the Massachusetts Veterans Annuity. That annuity is now increased. It's increased from $2,000 a year to $2,500 a year, and multiply that 500 times 19,000 recipients across Massachusetts. That's how much the state has committed to increasing this benefit, and that benefit has never changed. And here it is changed and increased. So the final increment goes into effect in the month of August here. And they do these things incrementally so it doesn't break the bank further. But it will be the full increase to $2,500 a year, and now once a year in August. So anyone in the room who receives the annuity, you're only going to get it once from now on. It's only going to be in August, which is, I think it's probably a good thing. You don't have to get it in two separate pieces, but if you've been used to that for the past 20 years, it might be a shock. So just plan for that. And then additionally, the HERO Act allows a lot of different increases for 100% veterans, as well as far as the cost to register a vehicle. Sales tax on a vehicle is now waived, not just for the folks who get the disabled veteran license plate. It used to be that if you got the disabled veteran's license plate, you're eligible for no sales tax, no registration fee, no excise tax. And what it is now is if you have the 100% rating, regardless of your handicap placard status, you get all those benefits. Because that was something everybody was confused about. People used to come to me all the time. I'm 100% disabled, why don't I get this? Well, you're 100% disabled for diabetes. You can still walk 200 feet, so the registry says you're good. I can't do anything about that. Now, if you're 100% rated for migraines or hearing loss, and you're still mobile, you don't need the handicap parking, you still get all the benefits that go with it. So it's a nice gesture and it's a good offering. So be sure to look into those things if you're eligible. And then, the other big piece is the property tax piece. Now, I think I recall our town meeting put up the property tax increase as only if the override passed. So the property tax abatements were supposed to increase only if the override passed. So unfortunately, the override did not pass. It did pass at the meeting, but not at the polls. So we'll have to look and see how that shook out with property tax abatements. But hopefully a number of you in here, if you own property in Easton or any town in Massachusetts, you get property tax abatements based off the service-connected disability. And what the HERO Act allows is for towns to double it, or you can tie it to inflation. And those benefits, those things haven't changed in, 17, 20 years. And how often do your property taxes go up? Every year, right? So, these are good things that are kind of catching up with the times. The HERO Act does a lot of other things too, like it updates some of the language that's used in the laws and the old laws that it's just not representative of who our veterans are, who our service members are. Just uses a lot of old language and things like this. But, those are the hard-hitting dollar impacts that you guys, I think, will notice first. And there's a lot of other supportive pieces that have to do with the family of the veteran. So there's a new position going to be created, the military spouse liaison. It's going to be somebody who works for the National Guard Bureau, and they're going to be a liaison for the spouse of current service member all the way to Gold Star spouse. So it's it just shows that impact and care for the family, because let's face it, if our family's not taken care of, we're not okay, right? We're not taken care of. So it's a nice gesture, and it's a step in the right direction. And additionally, I wanted to highlight too, so Merchant Marine Day, Space Force Day, a lot of these recognition type things are being written into law. They're nice, they're feel-good things. They recognize a lot of the joint forces and folks that contributed during conflicts throughout our history. It's important things to recognize. And I think this really, the bottom line is this is a sweeping legislation, and now it's turning, it's going to change things for the good, right? And the implementation phase has begun. It's still the first year, so if you go to the registry of motor vehicles, they might not know what you're talking about. You may have to explain to them, you may have to pull up their own website and show it to them. But we want to hear feedback if you're having a problem with that, because what we can do is we can communicate to the DOT or the registry and say, hey, I don't know if, RMV number 1527 got the memo, we need to school them up or something, right? The AAA stations that you go to do your registrations, they're going to be the last to hear. From what we're seeing is some of those folks are not getting the latest word on how to process these things. But after this year, it should be pretty smooth. All these things should be kind of, put into practice. Everyone should be moving smoothly. But yeah, so with that, I wanted to kind of just share those notes with you. I'm going to get you a document that everything I talked about just now, it kind of lays it out for you. I'm going to get you my contact info, and I encourage you to reach out if you have any questions. But just make sure you use your VSO. Jason Snyder, your VSO here in Easton. You should be able to reach him by going to Frothingham Hall or reaching out through email. Should be the same phone number that I was using while I was here. And yeah, so I mean, other than that, I think some of the things we're seeing across the board, the VA, I don't want to speak too much on the VA being a federal agency. I'm not affiliated with, right? But we work very closely together. And, a lot of their travel and recreational type stuff is being limited. They're not able to host, you see the Brockton Expo got canceled. Unfortunately, that thing's been going on for 20 plus years, Dave Anka. Unfortunately, we're seeing things like this. But the state, we're still going strong. Governor Healy's super supportive of the work we're doing. And we're able to continue. Nothing's changed for us. We do what we do. We do receive federal funding for certain things. Our two cemeteries follow some criteria and have partial federal funding. Our homes have partial federal funding. We've got a few grants that are federally funded, but all that money we have it in our possession already. So we don't look to lose anything like that, but it's just the future we don't know. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all I can say on that. Just, you can always count on us staying consistent, even throughout the changes at the federal level. So with that, I will turn it over to you all if you have any questions, sir.
You probably can guess what I'm going to ask. As of right now, the state still goes by federal rules, and reservists and guardsmen that did not do 180 days, are they locked out of all the things you're talking about?
You talking about the definition of a veteran?
Yes.
That's a great question. That's a HERO Act point I should have brought up, and I'm glad you brought it up. All right, so the HERO Act changes the definition of a veteran to be in line with the VA, which is actually more inclusive than Massachusetts used to be. Massachusetts used to say 180 days in peacetime, active other than training if you're Guard or Reserve, which I know applies to a lot of Legion members. Because Legion, you do have a lot of you do have a lot of National Guard and Reservists with no other active duty other than training, right? Now, that's out the window. If you have if you don't meet the old criteria, but you have a service-connected disability of 10% or higher, you're a veteran under the Commonwealth.
And one nice thing, I'm too old to worry about it, but for younger veterans, there's something about them. This does affect you eventually, that the National Guard Reservist parity law that's in the Congress. They say that, if you did your 6 years, your 2 weeks of annual training, you finish your recruitment. What have you heard about that so-called parity bill in the Congress?
I'm not familiar with that. What is the gist of that? Is if you serve?
I think it's more in line with like education, from what I've read.
Okay. I'm not familiar with that. I'll look into that.
Yeah.
We have a legislative director that he tracks a lot of the legislation that's going on, and that we usually, there's so many bills that get proposed, and we don't follow them until they're moving or in committee, and I don't find out about them usually until they're pretty far into that process, because otherwise I'd be hearing about every other bill that gets proposed, unfortunately, and I could barely keep the ones that get signed straight. But yeah, we can
So-
find out though.
Quick question, and
Yes,
I'm here in the American Legion because I'm eligible for this,
yes,
but like, I don't wanna, I'm not going to do it because I'm that kind of person, but theoretically, I should not, like, have veterans, the Commonwealth will not me have a veteran sticker on my driver's license. I mean, would that be inappropriate? I don't know.
so if you have here's the thing. If you go to the registry of motor vehicles and they give you, I've seen a 30-year-old gentleman with a plate that says Korea on it. I served in Korea too in 2010. If the registry makes a mistake and give you, they make their own determination, unfortunately. The definition change that I'm referring to refers to our Massachusetts chapter, MGL, Mass General Law Chapter 115 benefits, which civil service doesn't follow that. The registry may or may not follow that. But if you have a service-connected disability of, well, even I would say 0%, but if you have a service-connected disability at 10% or higher, you meet the definition of a veteran for the VA, for the federal government, and for Massachusetts. So I would say if you provide paperwork sufficient to the RMV that shows that you served, whatever their criteria is, then you get whatever you get. And you shouldn't feel bad about that.
Happily, I'm not eligible for that part. I don't want to be disabled.
Okay.
So that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd rather not. Yeah.
I understand.
Very good.
Yep.
Is
That's
there-
what
did
you
you say-
said.
It's gonna be on the website.
What's that? I'm gonna send you, I actually already sent it to the commander here. I already sent the fact sheet and I sent, I'm gonna send a slideshow too that I was gonna show you guys tonight, but I knew we were moved out of the room, so I didn't bring that, but, I'll get you all the info from this. Yeah, and you can mull it over. It's a lot to look at. The actual law, hundreds of pages. We condensed it down to a page and a half,
Good.
and it's good.
Now, the two homes you just mentioned about.
Yeah,
What towns are they in?
Chelsea and Holyoke. I know. They're looking, I can say this because the secretary said it. There is a study to do a third home in southeastern Mass. Could be Fall River, could be near the Cape. Still closer than Chelsea and Holyoke to us. And I know, I remember I used to refer people to Chelsea or Holyoke, they don't care if it was free. You don't want to put your family member that far away because then you gotta get to them. But, I don't know.
Is there one up in the North Shore?
It's Chelsea,
No, further.
further north now.
April or something.
Holyoke is northwest. There's all north from us, but, Holyoke, I mean, you probably got some other homes but they're not our state-run facilities. Yep. So we have the two state cemeteries too, so, in Agawam and Winchendon. But we also have Bourne even closer, so I think, that's where I'm gonna go, so, given my choice, that's next to my hometown Sandwich, so, my family's there and it's the national cemetery, so. But Agawam and Winchendon, beautiful cemeteries, they're just state operated and ran, very similar to the national, just a different level, different size, all this, but yeah, so. Any other questions, any other thought, anything you guys wanna know or hear, or anything else I could do to be helpful?
And I'll get the information out, like you said, he sent it to me, I'll get the information out within the next few days, right? And then if you have any questions, shoot me the questions, I'll gather all the questions and then I'll just move on with the
Yeah.
questions, right?
Anytime, and I'll come back, I try to come back as regularly as I can, I got little kids at home and they're getting older and more demanding and all that, so. And I would be remiss if I didn't plug this parade that we're doing on July 12th, so. I know we're working out to get you guys a float. I know Teresa's gonna be going over some options with you all. But yeah, July 12th, 10 a.m., we're gonna be doing the Tricentennial Parade. So we'll get you some more info on that as well. And with that, I'll pass it back over.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.